Whoa, he's got a bleeder. Try to get this holster off and he's able to get this on him. Grab his TQ off his chest. He's obviously got other injuries we can't see. Let's start getting his armor off him and do a good head-to-toe evaluation. Copy. You'll get that helmet. I'll start working on his plate carrier. All right, well, I've got him on this side. I'm going to check his back, okay? Okay. Good. Look and feel everywhere on his back, everywhere on his thigh. Okay, I can't find any other bleeding. All right, we're going to roll him onto his back again. Ready? All right, I'm coming to that side. Okay, clearly he's got something going on in his chest. All right, he's got a chest wound. Listen, we're going to get this t-shirt off him. Okay, I'm going to use my hook blade. Okay, well, I got my hand right here. Get his IFAK out. Bust it open, and he's got a halo. Bring it right over here, right where everybody can see, right? And I want you to open it, pull that tab, crank it open. Give me one seal. There you go. We're going to go ahead and apply it, okay? Good. Okay, let's cover him up and try and keep him warm. All right, I'm going to expose this a little more. I can't find any other side of bleeding. Let's see how big this wound is. I don't have any arterial bleeding. Tell you what, he's got no bleeding. He should have an Israeli dressing in that IFAK. Give me a Zizzy. All right, team leader, let's get that Ranger skid up here and let's get ready to package our patient for movement.
Moving.
And then before we get your straps, sit up and put your helmet on. Team leader, we got our casualty packaged and we're ready to make egress.
Check.
I need two.
Mike Jones and Doc Jones report to the casualty.
Last man, feet here. We're going to move the casualty feet first, back through our point of the breach. Roger? Okay.
Roger.
All right. Team leader, give me one, and we'll be ready to move.
Check. It'll be me.
Okay, guys, listen up. Make sure we've secured
Actually,
his weapons and his armor.
Security Joe.
We're not coming back
Grab
for
this
anything.
stuff.
Make sure we have everything with us that we're taking.
I am.
Guys on the head, get two hands on the sked.
Stop. Check.
Grab one. We're going to lift on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Moving.
Moving to you.
Right. Moving. I'm good.
Right, we're going to turn, move him head first. Ready in the pause. Turn yourself. Okay, up in the APC. Let's move. Watch his head.
All clear.
When we train and we offer a full mission profile, which is pretty frequently a culmination of training that we do for units or agencies, we always include a casualty scenario to disrupt the team leader's decision loop. That's an essential. Everybody does great in the fight when your decision loop isn't disrupted and you're dominating the fight. First thing you take casualties, that's when the plan usually goes to hell. One of the basics of the care under fire portion of the TCCC doctrine is that first you have to achieve fire superiority before you can think about treating a casualty. Every gun in the fight is important, including the person who's potentially been wounded. So just because somebody's been wounded, the fight doesn't stop. We all have to continue doing our primary jobs as fighters, as operators. In this particular tactical scenario, we gave the team 2 casualties. One who could self-treat and the other who was completely out of the fight and was going to need combat lifesaver level treatment. If you become a casualty, nobody is stopping in the middle of the firefight to take care of you. You have to start applying self-treatment. At that point, the tactical scenario is we've achieved fire superiority. We're not in a completely permissive environment, but we're in a permissive enough environment where somebody can stop being a war fighter for the moment and they can pay attention to the casualty. Clearly, if it was a situation where you don't have fire superiority, you don't have cover, you have to move the casualty to cover. In that particular scenario, it was a tactical situation where the person could be treated on the spot because we've achieved fire superiority. Generally, what I'll do in a scenario where I'm the instructor is on the spot, I'll be designating one at a time what wounds the casualty has. Everything we don't necessarily moulage up. So it's pretty simple to maybe have something moulaged up. And it's very simple also to throw a monkey wrench in the works and give somebody a wound and just verbalize that it's there and see how they're going to treat it. For the leg wound, what you saw was we were simulating an arterial injury, and that takes priority over all other forms of treatment. Once you've identified an arterial injury, there shouldn't be any hesitation in your decision process. Look for the casualty's tourniquet on the midline of their gear, apply it correctly, but as rapidly as possible. The team member who took a wound that was amenable to self-aid, fairly realistic because he was at the front of the column during the assault on the active shooter. It's far more likely that that person is going to be who's going to be a victim of effective fire than is somebody at the rear of the column. So, it simulates the fight has to go on. You have to get around the casualty, have your weapon up, and stay in the fight.
At this point in the scenario, we reached a terrain feature that was so narrow that it required us to split off so that I didn't string the team out into a long row of people. I had 2 lanes of approach going in the same direction, and I decided to split the team and send people down both because I could see further ahead that they converged. The reason I decided to have the self-treated shooter up front, armed with a secondary, was because we had already cleared that area or traveled through it. And our primary threat area, where we knew there were people with guns, was now behind us. And I wanted our most capable shooter to be to the rear because that was our highest likelihood of danger. In this specific scenario, we ended up with 2 operators wounded and 2 bad guys down. In my mind, once the fire superiority has been gained, our primary mission was now the TCCC or the combat lifesaver actions that needed to be happened to take care of my team members. So that forced us to quickly and efficiently take care of the 2 bad guys. What we did is approach and search them and disarm them and then leave them where they lay. They were both dead checked and they were both obviously expired. We can't take care of anything until the mission is taken care of, and that includes treating our own wounded. In order for the mission to be taken care of, we have to gain fire superiority. We have to overwhelm the enemy with tactics or fire, and render them harmless so that we can then go back and begin cleaning up in reverse. And the first step in that is taking care of our casualties.
The primary casualty had 2 gunshot wounds, one to the chest and one to the femoral artery. He was obviously in serious condition. The fastest way we could evacuate him to a trauma center was by air. We already had air on standby. They knew the grid, and they were able to get in, and we were able to get him out quickly. The casualty was on a ranger sked already. That enhanced our ability to get the casualty out of the 113 and to the helo. We need to make sure we have sufficient number of people on the stretcher, in this case 4, as well as a 5th man who is going to open the door of the helo and then ride with the casualty in. The helicopter makes a lot of noise. If we don't have direct radio communication with the pilot, we have to be able to make visual contact. We already have a series of hand and arm signals worked out so that we can ensure safety for everybody. Moving around the helicopter is extremely dangerous. The rotor blades have a tendency to sag under certain wind conditions. And if we're not lowering our profile, the potential for losing our head is great. We also have to be sure that we are someplace where the helicopter pilot can see us when he takes off. And that's going to be about at a 45-degree angle off the nose. He can't see to the sides and he can't see behind. And if he can't see you, we stand the potential for having another casualty. At the end of any training exercise, we like to have an injured officer scenario. In this case, we wanted to make sure we had all of the moving parts working together. That is, the gunfight inside the factory after people, wounded officers, having to extract them, put them in the M113 to get them out of the immediate area, and then package him and place him in the helo so he could get to a trauma facility where they could do the real work on him. If we don't exercise the moving parts, if we leave them notional, not everybody gets to train, and we're certainly not training the way we're going to fight.